solve quadratic equations using word problems. So that's it. I don't like reading, so reading these just makes my head hurt. So there's just two examples we're doing, and that's probably it. So the first example is a computer software company models a profit on its latest video game using the function p of x equal to negative 2x squared plus 32x minus 110, where x is the number of games in thousands. So again, similar to yesterday, in thousands. And the company produces a profit in millions of dollars. So how can you determine the maximum profit that they can earn? So when I determine a maximum, when we're talking about quadratics, when does the maximum of a graph usually happen, Brooklyn? Yeah, so we have to find the vertex. So how are we going to find the vertex? What do we need to do? Brooklyn? Mm-hmm. So you're going to find your x-intercepts, find the axis of symmetry, and then last but not least, you're going to come up with your vertex. So I have my function, p of x is equal to negative 2x squared plus 32x minus 110. So before we do anything that has to do with sum and product, what do we need to do first, Olivia? We're going to factor out a negative 2, which means I'm dividing everything by negative 2. So what would be left over in my bracket? Brooklyn?
It would be x squared, take away 16x,
Mm-hmm.
and then positive 55.
Perfect. Positive 55. So now we have my trinomial inside of my bracket. So luckily for us, there's no number in front of that x squared. So now we can use our sum and product pretty much as easy as we can. So what's my product and what's my sum? Olivia.
Product of 55, so negative.
Okay. So remember two numbers that multiply to positive 55 and add up to negative 16. Brooklyn, what would they be?
Negative 5 times negative 11, and then negative 5 plus negative 11.
Yep. So negative 11 times negative 5 gives me positive 55. Negative 11 plus negative 5 gives me negative 16, which is good. So because we have no number in front of my x squared, I can now create my two brackets. So what are my two brackets going to consist of? Brooklyn.
It would be 2, and then one bracket is going to be x take away 5.
So we got x minus 5 and x minus 11 with the negative 2 on the outside, which is good. So now we can start our process. So we're going to start with step 1, which is finding my x-intercepts. So what are my x-intercepts in this equation? Sarah? So x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 11. Okay, the second step is to find my axis of symmetry. So how do I find that? Jade?
You add your axis or your x-intercepts
Okay.
and then divide them by 2.
So what do I get? What's 11 plus 5? Divided by 2, which is what?
8.
Perfect. So my axis of symmetry is x is equal to 8. And now step 3 is to find my vertex. So what am I going to do with x is equal to 8? Rita.
You plug it into the factor.
Yep. So I'm going to plug it into my factored form, which is negative 2 times x minus 5 times x minus 11. So remember, I'm going to plug in 8 for x. And like I said, you know you did it right when both brackets have the same number, except the signs are opposite of each other. So what is negative 2 times 3 times negative 3? 18. So what would my vertex be? Perfect. 8 and 18. So I can't say they make $18. So what do I have to multiply my y value of the vertex by? What does it say my profit is in? No, that's the number of games in thousands. Millions. So I have to multiply 18 by what? A million. So my profit is 18 times 1 million, which is $18 million. Pretty much, that's a lot of money. So the maximum profit that this company earns is $18 million. So max profit is $18 million. Okay, one last example. Yes, it's okay.
Why does it say then, in thousands? Like,
Because you can sell, it's depending on the company, you can sell something in like thousands, but I guess they should have used the same thing in this scenario because I did 18 million divided by 8,000, and it's telling me that each game costed $2,250, which makes no sense.
okay.
So,
So like that little detail has nothing to do with the.
no. Okay, so our last word problem is, yeah, one more. Yeah, that's it. So our good friend, our girl Sally, is standing on top of a river slope and throws a ball. The height of the ball at a given time is modeled by the function h of t is negative 5t squared minus 10t plus 250, where h of t is the height in meters and t is the time in seconds. It is asking me when will the ball be 10 meters above the ground. So we're not looking for a maximum height right here. It's asking me when the ball will be 10 meters above the ground. So does this represent my time or my height, these 10 meters?
Height.
Height.
So you would sub 10 meters for.
Yep. So we're going to sub 10 for h. For h of t, which is my left side of the graph. Or left side of the equation, sorry. So I have h of t is equal to negative 5t squared minus 10t plus 250. So because I'm trying to figure out when my ball hits a height of 10 meters, h of t is going to become 10 is equal to negative 5t squared minus 10t plus 250. So now what am I going to do with that 10? We're going to move it to the other side. So I'm going to get 0 left on the left side is equal to negative 5t squared minus 10t plus 250 minus 10. And that just becomes negative 5t squared minus 10t plus 240. So before we go doing sum and product, am I able to divide these three numbers by any one specific number? Ashton, negative 5. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 5. So can someone tell me what is left in my bracket then? Brooklyn?
It would be t squared
Mm-hmm.
plus 2t.
Okay.
Take away 48.
Perfect. So now I'm left with a simple trinomial that I can factor. So what is my product and what is my sum in this case? Emma.
The product is going to be negative 48.
Perfect. And what's my sum?
The sum is going to be 2.
Yep, 2. So I need to figure out two numbers that multiply to negative 48 and add up to positive 2. Rita.
Negative 6 and 8.
Perfect. So negative 6 times 8 is negative 48, which is what we want. And negative 6 plus 8 is equal to positive 2, which is also what we want. So like I said, the good thing here is that our trinomial does not have a number in front of the t squared. So can someone tell me what my two brackets are going to be? Sarah.
Well, negative 5 first.
Okay.
3 plus 8, and the other bracket would be 2 minus 6.
Perfect. So what these two brackets tell me are my intercepts on where my ball is going to be 10 meters. So what are my intercepts in this case? T is equal to what? What are my two x-intercepts?
6 and
Yep.
negative 8.
So t is equal to positive 6 and t is equal to negative 8. So because my time is in seconds,
Wait, sorry. Would t be negative 6? I thought it was the
yeah, but
negative 6. I thought it would be positive 6.
yeah, because when you have t minus 6 inside the bracket, when you set it equal to 0, it becomes t is equal to 6.
Oh, I thought that said negative.
Oh, no, it's the equal sign, sorry. So it says my ball is going to hit 10 meters at two different times. Which one can we not use? Rita. So we cannot use negative 8 because there's no such thing as negative time. So what would your therefore statement be? Therefore, the ball hits a height of 10 meters at, Emma?
Therefore, the ball, the height of the ball, sorry.
That's fine.
Given at 6 seconds.
Is 10 meters at 6 seconds. Perfect. Easy stuff? Yes, Jade?
So for this one, you only have to find the x-intercept.
Yep, that's it. Any other questions?
Do we have any others for answer questions on the test? Or will that be the review?
I'll give you a review tomorrow with questions like that. Just come on.
Sorry, didn't the, -6 and, +8?
So when we put it in the bracket, we always use the sign that we use. So it has to be t minus 6 and t plus 8. Okay, and when we take it out of the bracket, because I have to set one equal to 0, and I have to isolate for t,
Oh.
this one becomes t is equal to -8, and this one becomes t is equal to +6. Yep.
I have a question about another question.
Okay.
And I don't know if you'll be able to understand from reading it, but it was on the quiz review.
Which one?
It's number 3. A bridge is 20 kilometers wide and has a maximum height at 840. The
Mhm.
right side of the bridge hits the ground at 18 kilometers. Write an equation in backward form. Fx equals a times x equal r times x. So this-
Should say S.
X take away s.
Yeah. What's like
So
you?
how do we do that?
Oh, you want me to do
Yeah.
it? Sure. Let me see. That was for the quiz review, right?
Yeah.
The
Like,
first
is
one
there
I
a
gave you?
question like that?
Is it the first one I gave you?
Yes, the first quiz.
Why am I on my grade 9s? Okay, hold on.
Oh, that's what it is.
Let's see. We'll do this last one and then we'll go do our fake fire drill. Okay. So for that one, this is the quiz review number 3, right? So there's some key information that is here. So we know that the bridge is 20 kilometers wide, okay? And we know that the max happens at 8 and 40. So if there's a max at 8 and 40, what does that tell you about the bridge? What else do we call a max? A vertex. So that would be your vertex of the bridge. Okay, and then it says the right side of the bridge hits the ground at 18 kilometers. So if it hits the ground at 18 kilometers, what is the height of the ground? 0. So that's going to be one of my x-intercepts. So I'm going to draw this thing out. So I'm going to draw out my vertex first. So what is this? 1, 2, 3. So the first point I'm going to plot is going to be my vertex. So I got 10, 20, 30, 40. So my vertex happens at 8 and 40, which is up here. Now, because my bridge hits the ground at 18 kilometers, that's going to be one of my x-intercepts, okay, which is over here. So this is going to be 18 and 0 because that's when my bridge hits the ground. So just based off this information, what is my axis of symmetry? Emma?
Here is no, but I'm guessing it's either 7, 8, or 9.
What's my axis of symmetry? So what's the x value of my vertex? 8. So this is my axis of symmetry where x is equal to 8. So now this is where the 20 kilometers wide thing comes into play. So from 8 to 18, how many kilometers is that? 10, right? So from my middle of the bridge to the other side of the bridge, that is 10 kilometers. Because my bridge is 20 kilometers wide, how far left do I have to go from the middle? Now, 10. So it's -1, -2, -3. So what is 10 to the left of 8? Where does that take us? -2. Because this is also 10 kilometers. So 10 plus 10 gives me 20.
And that would be the graph.
That would be the graph.
And this is because you couldn't find the other x value?
Well, we found the x value using the information from
That
our
one,
problem.
And that's a lot easier than.
So now I can actually figure out an equation in factored form. Okay, so what are my x-intercepts? Brooklyn?
Maybe 2.
Yep. So if I were to put these back into an equation, how would they look like in their brackets? So remember we have f of x equal to a times x minus r and x minus s. So for negative 2, would it be x plus 2 or x minus 2? Plus. Emma, what would my next one be? Would it be x minus 18 or x plus 18?
X minus
Yeah. So now that we have our brackets in factored form, I need to figure out what my a value is. So is there a specific points on the graph that we have that can help us find our a value? Olivia? Yeah. So our vertex is 8 and 40. So which one's x and which one's y? Jade?
8 is x.
Mhm.
Yeah, and 40 is y.
Yeah. So 40 is y, or in this case, f of x. So wherever we see x, I'm going to plug in the number 8. And wherever I see f of x, I'm going to plug in the number 40. Because f of x is just another fancy way of saying y. So I'm going to have 40 is equal to a times 8 plus 2 times 8 minus 18. What's 8 plus 2? 10? What's 8 minus 18?
-1.
Perfect. So I get 40 is equal to a times negative 100. So now because that negative 100 is attached to my a, how do I isolate for a? Divide by? Yeah. So these guys go, which means a is by itself. So what's 40 over negative 100? What does that simplify into? Lisa? Negative 2 over 5. Which means my whole equation is going to be f of x is equal to negative 2 over 5 times x plus 2 times x minus 18. Will there be a question on Friday like that? Maybe, but we'll see.
Can you no, maybe not.
Well, if I zoom out, it's going to be so tiny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you have it online, right? This is going to be already.
That answer's online?
Yeah, once I start writing on a note, it automatically
Oh,
uploads.
guys.
Yes, Sarah?
To go over 6.
Sure. After our fake and not fun fire drill.